It's interesting now about crypto. I don't consider crypto Bitcoin or Ethereum. Okay. Yes, they were the pioneering assets, but I'm considering crypto as the 12th sector of the S&P. It hasn't been declared that yet, but I think that's where we're going. And so when you talk about running a mandate like I do for institutional clients or institutional mindset, they say to themselves, okay, in a normal world where I understand each of the 11 sectors of the S&P, I may allocate the largest I would allocate would be 20%, let's say, to technology. That's generally the max in a mandate. And maybe you do 3% in energy because your ESG concerns are there and all the rest of it. But you're dabbling in all 11. I'm now dabbling in crypto as if it was the 12th. So that means I don't need a mandate to do that. I'm doing that because I'm able to get my compliance department to agree on certain coins, tokens, assets, but they have no interest in just buying Bitcoin. I get Bitcoin. That's one asset. It's just like when you say, I'm going to have 20% in tech. There's 1,000 companies to choose from to build that position. So for me now to actually get into crypto, I need multiple positions because I'm mandated to have diversification. So yeah, I own Bitcoin. Yes, I have some Ethereum. I have some Litecoin. I have some USDC, but there's much more coming. And I'm at 3% right now, waiting in a mandate. That's not a lot. I'm on my way to 7% by year end. That's a lot. And that's starting to be where I consider myself a participant in this market. But I'm having to do it different than maybe you or Pomp or a lot of the guys that were pioneers. I don't have the option to be a cowboy. I can't do that. I have three problems on that front. Number one, I have to get my internal compliance officer to agree. Number two, I have to get my external auditor to sign the audited statements that then turn into reports to the regulators in every jurisdiction that I participate in. I cannot afford to be offside for 1 second. So that's taken a lot of time. That ain't easy. And that is where we sit. And I'd say to you, that's good and bad news. It's good news that I've been able to do it. It took me almost half a year. But the upside is that there's trillions of dollars of the people I service that want to do the same thing. If we could just get the regulator on side to tell us what the rules are, it's like football. You can't play football if you don't know the rules. We need the rules. Then you're going to get a massive allocation to crypto.
What is 7% in real numbers?
I don't say because it goes across multiple mandates. And, you know, we have rules about disclosing dollars because it's not always our money.
And are these people just kind of aware that this is this crypto thing and they know they should do it and they just trust you with your money? Because in my world, like my show is what Bitcoin did. I 95 to 98% of our content is Bitcoin. We occasionally discuss other projects. So I might discuss Ethereum if I wanted to talk about stable coins or do the comparisons. But in my world, Bitcoin is very different from crypto. I actually consider them two different things. All they share is the fact that they both use a blockchain and cryptography.
Yeah.
But what they are trying to achieve, for me, are very, very different things. So is there just this wider desire for people to invest in crypto and they don't really care what it is, and it's for you to decide the investments?
No, when it comes to crypto, because of the compliant and the regulations and where we're at, I don't put other people's money into crypto mandates. I'm very fortunate to have my own operating companies, multiple operating companies that I control in the case where this crypto is 100% control. So I am allowed, but I have to be compliant anyways, because when you have a compliance department, it's because you've been able to grow business. I have multiple investments in financial services companies, many of them which are reporting and regulated. So I can't be offside. It's because I'm a shareholder in these companies. And so...
What do you mean by offside?
So let me give you an example. Back in 2017, when I took my first position in crypto, the regulatory environment was nothing less than toxic, all right? At that time, regulators around the world were sending out complaints to all kinds of people that were trying to tokenize all kinds of assets, including one here in New York, a hotel. It was a poop show. And
you can say a shit show.
Yeah, it was, and you just can't get involved in that when you're reporting and being compliant in many other jurisdictions. And so that at that point, I was just, my own compliance department said, you got to stop talking about this stuff. You got to stay away from this stuff. This is just an environment that is brutal. Over time, in particularly the last 24 months, you've seen Switzerland, Germany, France, England, Canada, a jurisdiction that cooperates with regulators in the US in total harmony, launch ETFs with their primary asset being Ethereum and Bitcoin. So the tonality of that regulatory environment has changed dramatically. You're starting to see the regulator, talking about, let's discuss these asset classes, let's get into a dialogue about it. And as a result, I've been able to be more flexible about my own position and come out and disclose just a few months ago that I'd taken on a 3% position in our operating company of specifically Bitcoin and a few others. But I agree with you on the thesis you have on Bitcoin, because when I talk to, let me give you an example, which is, I think is very intuitive what you said there. Mm-hmm. Let's say I'm talking to a sovereign fund, all right? Let's say, and they have 500 billion, and they want to deploy into crypto for the first time, and they're going to put a small weighting, 1%. The reason they haven't done it yet is not because they're having a debate about whether they want to. They want to, but they have a compliance department that includes an ESG committee, which determines which assets get to the investment committee first, because every single asset is viewed with that particular sovereign fund by the merits of sustainability. And so just, at Bitcoin 2021, there was a huge debate going on. Elon Musk was involved. I'd made some statements about it because I'd learned from the pensions that they weren't going to get involved in it because it was not ESG compliant. The Chinese were burning coal to make electricity, to mine and get awarded coins. That was a nightmare. And so the reason Bitcoin is still not yet an institutional product is we have not got around this issue of sustainability. It's getting addressed, and I'll give you an example. This is a shout out to a company I am a shareholder in, Hut 8, all right? Jamie Leverton.
Yeah, she's great.
She is great. I met her through a real estate transaction, and we started having a discussion like you and I are right now about ESG. She said, look, I'm ESG compliant. But what I like about her company is that I can buy her equity, which I did at that time. I think I'm up 69% in the mandate that's in, because she claimed, and she was right, that she is in direct vol. In other words, the correlation between the price of Bitcoin and her stock price is 1-to-1. So she is keeping every